All right, let's dive right in. We're going to unpack a pretty wild argument today, one that connects two worlds you'd think are complete opposites: the old-school power of the US dollar and the so-called revolution of Bitcoin. The source material we're looking at makes a case that, honestly, might just flip how you see both of them. Let's get into it. Our source doesn't pull any punches. It starts with this line, a direct challenge right out of the gate. It's setting the tone, basically telling us to forget the common stories we've been told and to look at the global financial system with a much more skeptical eye.
So to really get this argument, we have to go back in time. The whole thing is built on a very specific take on what happened after World War II. And in this version of the story, it's not about a rescue. It's about a design.
Now, this source claims the post-war recovery wasn't just generous aid. It was a system with a lot of strings attached. It argues that Europe wasn't so much saved as it was restricted, that there were forced contracts, even a kind of economic blackmail. And all of it, every single bit, pointed to one single condition: the US dollar had to become the absolute center of the financial world.
And this is the result of that system. According to the source, when you build the entire global economy on one currency, you create this incredible dependency. It means that when America gets a cold, the rest of the world doesn't just sneeze, it gets pneumonia. The problems don't stay contained, they spread everywhere.
Okay, so that's the old world. Now, let's talk about the new one. Enter Bitcoin. You know the story, we've all heard it 1,000 times. It's the escape hatch, right? The decentralized hero that's here to save us from the very system we just talked about.
And that narrative is incredibly powerful, isn't it? It's all about freedom from big banks, about taking power away from governments. It's a full-blown financial revolution for the little guy. This is the promise that has totally captivated millions. But our source says, hold on a minute.
And here it is. This is the moment the entire argument pivots. The source tells us to cut through all the noise, all the hype, and just focus on one single practical question. A question that surprisingly ties the world of Bitcoin right back to the world of the dollar.
This is really the heart of the whole idea. The source is claiming there's this hidden connection, a transactional reality that completely undermines the story of Bitcoin being our savior from the dollar.
So what is this game-changing question? It's this simple. By what currency do you actually buy Bitcoin? I mean, really think about it. When you or anyone else heads to an exchange to grab some crypto, what's the currency it's priced in? What's the money you're using for the trade?
The source's answer is blunt. No messing around. With the dollar. Always. The argument is that it doesn't matter if you start with euros or yen or anything else. The US dollar is the unavoidable gateway.
And this slide kind of breaks down how that's supposed to work. You start with your local currency, but then it gets converted into US dollars. A lot of the time, this is in the form of a stablecoin, like Tether, which is basically just a crypto version of the dollar. And only after that step can you finally buy your Bitcoin. So the point is, every single transaction has to pass through the dollar system.
And if that transaction chain is true, well, it leads to this really stunning conclusion from the source. Far from being its enemy, every single purchase of Bitcoin actually creates more demand for dollars to make the trade happen. So buying Bitcoin actually strengthens the dollar's position in the world.
So if this connection is real, what does it all mean? This is where we get to the most controversial part of the whole argument. The idea that this isn't some accident, that it's not just how the market shook out, that it's a deliberate geopolitical design, a trap.
And the contrast the source presents is pretty stark. The promise is freedom for individuals like you and me, but the alleged reality is a geopolitical trap for entire nations. The promise is a people's currency, but the reality is described as a fake elite currency designed for a much, much bigger game.
So what's the supposed outcome of this trap? Well, a few things. First, it keeps a constant global demand for dollars, which gives the currency muscle. This, in turn, allows the US to export its inflation abroad. And maybe most importantly, it means the United States can keep creating money with way less oversight than any other country would ever get away with.
And that brings us to the final point, which kind of reframes this whole conversation. It suggests that the questions most of us are asking about Bitcoin are completely the wrong ones. We're missing what's really going on.
So here's the thing. We're all obsessed with the price, right? Is it going to the moon? Is it going to crash? According to this perspective, that's all just a distraction. It's noise that keeps us from looking at the bigger picture, at how the whole system is actually structured.
Instead of asking about price, the source says the only question that really matters is this: who is the real winner in this system? It's a question that challenges us to look past the hype, past the charts, and really think about the hidden structures of power in our world. And what you make of that? Well, that's up to you.